So, Papa, how do you use math at work?
Well, my job is to forecast how many cars we're going to sell at Kia every month. So we have to use math so we can look at how many did we sell last year, how many did we sell last month, and those are good clues about how many you'll sell this year. So, for instance, if we said in February we sold 10% more cars, so let's say we sold 30,000 in February last year, and this year we sold 33,000, that's 10% more, right? Then we'd say, well, what if we keep selling 10% more in March? We say, well, last year we sold 40,000 in March, so that means we would expect we're going to sell 44,000 this year. And then we know how many cars to build because we want to build the right amount of cars for how many cars we're going to sell.
So, what was your old price that you used to sell the cars at?
Well, the prices are usually go up every year by about the same as inflation, but they also go up because we add new features, new equipment. So it's kind of an interesting question because if you get the price too high, people can't afford it, right? But if you don't put the right equipment on the car, people won't want it. So you have to you have to do very careful math to figure out what's the best kind of things to put on a car and how much do they cost so that the customer would say, yeah, I'm willing to pay an extra $300 to have a backup camera. Or, no, I'm not willing to pay $3,000 for navigation because my phone can do navigation. I don't need it, right? So that's where you try and figure out what's the best price so the customer will think that the car is a good deal.
So, how much do you usually add to the price? Like, what do you add? Like, how much money do you add up?
Well, like I said, the price goes up every year a little bit, even if we don't change the car, because there's inflation. And inflation means that, like, you know, if 1 year a gallon of milk is always $4, and then the next year a gallon of milk is $4.10, then that 10 cents is called inflation. That's just the price of milk going up. Well, everything in the economy, prices go up, and they can estimate the average. So usually our car prices go up about the same as the average of everything else that people buy.
Like usually 300 or 500?
Well, that's probably close. If we said maybe 3%, you're going to raise the price. So if the car was $30,000 1 year, then 3% of $30,000 would be, 1% of $30,000 would be what?
It would be 300.
1% of 30,000. Is that right? Or 30?
I don't do this kind of
$30,000. So let's see. You got how many zeros?
You
3 0, and then you got 4 zeros, right?
Yeah.
So for 1%, you take away 2 zeros. So if you have 4 zeros, you would have 2 zeros. So you're right, it's $300. So if we were going to raise the price of the car 2% because of inflation, we'd probably raise the price by 600. So you're pretty close with your 200
estimation.
Your estimation of $200 or $500 a year. The prices go up.
So, like, how do you work at work?
Well, I have we usually sit in our offices and we get reports that tell us about everything that has happened, like how many cars did we sell in the past, what are all the prices, what are all the other car companies charging for their cars.
Like how much you should sell it for the next few days, like how much you should sell it for this year.
Yeah, so usually we only change the price once a year, but then the other part of my job is to do incentives. And what incentives means is discounts. So if if right now we're not selling enough cars, then and we were giving people $1,000 back when they buy a car, so we say we'll give you a $1,000 discount off of the price, and then maybe the next month we'd say, oh, we're not selling enough cars, we'll give you $1,500 discount off of the price. So we adjust that every month, how much we should reduce the price by, because the market moves, and let's say that our competition, Ford or Toyota or Honda, if they reduce their prices, or they put a bigger discount on it rather, then maybe we have to do the same thing, or we will lose some of our sales, right? We have to match whatever they do. So that's another thing, we have to watch carefully what all the other car makers are doing. So we look at their websites and we get reports to see what their offers are, and then we try to match them if we can.
So, do you work like this? Like 1 year it's like that, and then it goes down, and then it goes back up, and then it goes like zigzag kind of?
Yeah, kind of. What happens is when you do a new model year, so it's so every once a year you change model year, and so those are the newest cars, and so the price is higher, that people pay is higher on the new car, and then gradually over the year the price goes down a little bit, and then when you get to the next model year it goes back. So it's almost exactly like you said, it's like a zigzag pattern that says you start up high,
and then you go down
and you go down a little bit each month, and then when you get to the next year you go back up high again, maybe a little higher. So you adjust it down each month as the cars get a little bit older.
So like, what kind of math? Like, do you do like kind of like algebra work?
Somewhat. It's really even simpler than algebra. It's a lot of times it's just dividing, addition, and times, multiplication, and division. Division, really a lot of the times, right? Because a lot of times it's percents. So you have to say what percent did the sales go up last month?
Yeah.
And so then you can take the same percent and say, well, if they go up the same percent this month, then you know how many cars. So you're taking a division to calculate the percent, and then multiplication to estimate how many cars you're going to sell.
So like, what's your favorite car work?
My favorite car work?
Yeah.
I like it the best when I get to drive the new cars and see if they're like drive good, and then check out like if they have like new technology, like can the car park itself, or put on the brakes by itself, or can it follow the car in front of it with cruise control. I like checking out the new technologies.
Like, do you get, like, sometimes do you have, like discount card, like, that says Kia, and it's, like, a discount card till the certain date?
We don't have that, but people who work at Kia, they're in the computer system that they can get automatically a bigger discount. So you don't have a card, but you can get, like, from the system, you can get like a PIN number that you take to the dealer, and the dealer types in the PIN number, and they go, yep, you get the discount, and so you get a better price.
Like, my favorite car at Kia was K900.
Yeah, that's the one you like the best?
Yeah, because it had, like, the back controls to do it, but we got rid of that car, and we got the,
Stinger?
Yeah, Stinger. Blue Stinger.
Right, yep. So you liked the controls in the back, and I didn't like the controls in the back because
I could adjust it.
I want the radio to be on this channel, and you keep changing it to something else. Or I want it to be colder, and you want it to be hotter in the car, and you keep adjusting it from the back seat. So I didn't like that feature.
I liked it.
Yeah, because you were in the back seat. That's why you liked it. Okay, so do you understand a little bit better how I use math in my job?
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
think that was a good interview.
Yeah, good interview. Thank you. Thank you for interviewing me.
You're hired.
I'm hired? Good, I want a new job.
You're hired for